Welcome to Practical AI Tools, where we break down useful AI software step by step. In this video, we're going to focus on one very specific skill, creating perfectly looping videos using Pika. If you create content for TikTok, Instagram Reels, or YouTube Shorts, looping matters more than you might realize. A good loop doesn't feel like a restart. It feels continuous. In this video, I'll explain what makes a loop feel seamless, why most loops fail, and how to use Pika in a way that makes looping much easier. Short-form platforms are designed around repetition. When a video finishes, it immediately starts again. If the loop is awkward, viewers notice and swipe away. But when the loop feels smooth, viewers often watch the video multiple times without realizing it restarted. That increases total watch time, which is one of the strongest signals these platforms use. Perfect loops don't make content viral by themselves, but they amplify good content. A good loop feels satisfying because the brain likes continuity. When motion flows naturally, the restart doesn't feel disruptive. This is why subtle motion usually works better than dramatic action. A looping video should feel like it could continue forever without a clear beginning or end. Most looping mistakes happen at the end of the clip. Sudden motion changes, camera shifts, or dramatic actions make the reset obvious. Another common mistake is ending on a completely different composition than the starting frame. If the first and last frames don't feel related, the loop will feel forced. Pika is an image-to-video AI tool. Instead of animating manually, you start with a still image and describe the motion you want. Pika then generates movement based on that prompt. Because the motion is generated rather than recorded, you have more control over how subtle or dramatic the movement is. This makes Pika especially useful for looping visuals. Image-to-video tools work well for loops because everything starts from a single frame. That makes it easier to control where motion begins and ends. Unlike filmed footage, there's no accidental camera shake or unpredictable movement. The more controlled the motion, the easier it is to create a seamless loop. The starting frame is the most important part of a looping video. Choose an image that feels balanced and stable. Centered subjects, symmetrical compositions, and calm poses work best. If the starting frame already feels like a moment in motion, looping becomes much easier. One of the most reliable ways to create a perfect loop is to make sure the final frame matches the starting frame. If the video begins and ends in the same visual state, the restart becomes almost invisible. Even if motion isn't perfectly smooth, matching frames can hide the reset. In Pika, this is possible because you're generating motion from a base image rather than filming real footage. By planning the motion so it naturally returns to the starting position, the loop feels intentional instead of abrupt. When generating motion, avoid prompts that imply a conclusion. Actions like jumping, turning fully, or completing a task often create a clear end. Instead, focus on continuous motion, like gentle movement, breathing, or environmental motion. The goal is for the ending frame to feel like it could naturally lead back to the start. When generating a clip in Pika, think about where the motion will end before you even generate it. Avoid prompts that imply a final action. Instead, guide motion that can cycle back to the original pose or position. If the last frame visually matches the first frame, the loop feels seamless. This approach works better than trying to hide the loop with fast motion or transitions. Shorter clips loop more naturally. Slow, consistent motion works better than fast movement. If motion is too dramatic, the reset becomes noticeable. Subtle motion may feel boring in isolation, but it often loops better and performs better over time. When prompting Pika, avoid language that implies a beginning or end. Use words that suggest ongoing motion. For example, instead of describing an action that completes, describe motion that continues. The wording of your prompt directly affects how loopable the result will be. Always preview the video multiple times. Watch the transition point carefully. If you notice the reset, the loop isn't ready yet. Small adjustments to motion or timing can make a big difference. Export settings matter more than most people realize. Consistent frame rate helps maintain smooth motion. Avoid trimming or editing that changes timing at the start or end. Exporting cleanly helps preserve the loop you designed. Perfect loops work especially well on TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. They're also useful for background visuals, ambient clips, and aesthetic content. Anywhere videos auto-restart, loops can increase watch time. Perfect loops won't fix bad content. They amplify content that already holds attention. Focus on clarity, visuals, and pacing first. Loops are a tool, not a shortcut. Many beginners wonder if every video should loop. The answer is no. Loops work best for short-form and visual content. Use them where they make sense, not everywhere. Perfect loops feel intentional and continuous. Choosing the right starting image, controlling motion, and testing the loop are the most important steps. Pika makes it possible to experiment quickly without animation experience. If you want to try Pika for image-to-video generation, you'll find a link in the description. And if you want more practical explanations of AI tools like this, check out the other videos on the channel.